So Zaku brought it to my attention that the Deathray is a weapon I perhaps have been underrating all these years. It is functionally very similar to the Gravedigger with nearly identical damage and headshot, same stats on the basic side, slightly slower reload and impact, which doesn't make a huge difference in game, with the one key difference being that it uses and is locked to energy, ammo, and damage. That is a big deal, meaning if these weapons are functionally identical, then the Gravedigger with a matching element should just be 20 to 25% better. So that's kind of where we're starting at. The Deathray is probably better than I ever thought. I put it in the C tier in my AR tier list, and then I put it in the B tier if you have a loadout. I checked into it, and it didn't blow my hair back, but Zaku is a prolific funder of videos on my channel. Anytime there's a topic that I'm about to throw away, he hops into a stream, funds a video, and makes it happen. You never, ever need to do this. I am always going to make my own videos and be happy doing it. But if you really, really want to see a concept and you like supporting the channel, sending a donation on stream is a good way to do it. So Twitch link down below if you guys ever want to talk to me about that. So here's the basic build we're going for. Soldier loadout video, link to that down below first and foremost. That's a great guide if you want a thorough discussion on the topic. But Sledgehammer in the lead, Toy rocking out. We're going to be critting a lot. Subwafers to activate it consistently. And a surprise pick is crack shot. So the way that this works is when you're shooting, every single bullet will be an extra percent. And if you have more than 34 bullets in your magazine, he will wind up being better than Ramirez with her 17% support. I always use her just because she's instantly available and I don't have to think about it. But I think for lower health targets, we're not going to need the help on damage. And when it comes to smashers and mini bosses, we'll be laying into them using the entire mag. And that's where Crackshot will shine. We are also using assault ammo recovery. You guys know I love this hero because the ammo that you save from his perk can be reapplied with his perk. So you end up saving closer to 32% of your ammo with that, which is literally just a mag size buff and an ammo saver. And this one isn't for damage, but Eternal Wanderer. I just love getting around the map. I just think it makes for a better experience, and that's it. I am recording this during Power Hour, by the way, though it is for constructors. So for all intents and purposes, for my video here, we will be completely ignoring that bonus, but maybe enjoying some gold. This is going to date the video, but on launch, Power Hour is not giving gold in the 160 zone, so it's going to be a lot of visual gold on screen, but probably nothing extra in our pocket. So a nice trait of this weapon is the accuracy, and Zaku did mention that you can flux this weapon, whereas the Gravedigger is voucher only. So if you're somebody who's had a Deathray copy, maybe an enemy dropped it and you picked it up, you might want to give it a try because it's a little expensive on the energy ammo, but it's highly accurate at a good range and could be a lot more fun than you realize. I mean, it is aptly named the Deathray. It's meant to be a laser beam. So just for a baseline, we're going to pop a wafer and lay into a 160 Mist Monster. Pretty good time to kill, you know? It's not one-shotting it like some of the shotguns in the game, but pretty respectable for a weapon that I've never, you know, paid that much attention to. I was running over here and I kept waiting to run out of stamina and then I just didn't. That's Eternal Wanderer for you. So here's the time to kill on a 160 Smasher. You can see the damage goes up and up and up and up and up as we use Crackshot. Of course, nothing can fix bad aim, even though I'm not getting that extra gold. So the thing at the top left, there should be a gold counter. If you guys are playing Power Hours in the future, if you don't see something in the top left tracking your gold, you will not be getting the extra Power Hour gold for that hour. So it's really hard to leave the gold on the ground visually, but like I should not be worrying about it. So my team is setting up the defense here and allowing me to play some traps, which is great because we do have Battle Beat in our build and she does activate from your traps. So whenever I'm showing off a weapon and my teammates know it, they know I'm recording a video, they are very generous to allow me to just put some of these down so I can get some kills. As I say that, as I say that, Storm God's standing there like, oh, yeah, I was totally doing that. Whoops. So this is an exploding death bomb mission. That's a big deal. That means all floor traps and one tile high wall traps are going to get hit by those bombs, and anti-air can help a little bit, but it's not going to do everything. So these are all directional. I'm trying to face them away from the objective so that it bounces enemies towards my back as I place them. And then I don't want this to be a tire trap showcase video, but oh wow, it looks like everything is either going to walk over that hill or come up towards this direction. A great way to place tire traps is a little tedious, but if you can start up on top and then blanket it from there, that's where you can actually get some effective placements, because it won't like snap a new building piece, but it will snap to an existing one. So I'll just put a few down just like that, and then I guess we can pretty much go from here. I think that one will actually get some use, as enemies will kind of walk up this corner and probably hit that at some point. So yeah, pretty basic defense. Let's shoot down the balloon and get it started. All right, and the defense begins. So I'm not going to eat a wafer for every single kill, and I want to stack up that crack shot damage. And this is performing basically as it did before. So if anybody ever wants to get excited about a weapon and do some research in Discord, you're welcome to do so. I am very active in the Minerva VIP channels and the Fortnite VIP channels. So people who are members on my YouTube channel, paid members, subscribers on Twitch, they can get access to those. And that's a channel I'm very active in. And a lot of those people are usually very dedicated community members. So a lot of science happens in those channels. And if you're ever looking into something and you find out that a weapon's better than you had previously thought, that's a fun place to, you know, test around. And I will give it a shot. Like I said, nobody has to pay me to make videos. If you say, hey, the Deathray is actually pretty good, I'll say, no way. And then I ran it on stream. And it performed fine. Like, this is fine. It's not blowing my hair back. I want to say it's better than I thought, but I don't think it is. I thought this might be some rags to riches D tier to A tier story. They were hyping it up in Discord, but the simple fact that that Mist monster is still alive, I've never ranked a weapon lower after recording a video, but I was like, you know, maybe B tier was high. And of course my team is running the same build, so I just wasted my wafer, but it's like, it's fine. It's a base game AR, it's well placed, it is energy only. Being energy only, I think this weapon could enjoy a damage buff and it wouldn't be a big deal. In my opinion, energy weapons should be stronger. I think that's Epic's opinion as well. It's just that most energy weapons didn't get that much better with the rework 12.0 update in like 2020. It was an old update long ago, and I hope Storm God's gonna leave me a Mist monster at some point, because I'd love to test this thing's damage. I also, as I said, do have a low durability, there you go, copy going here, because as I said, I ran this on stream and this one's about to break. I pre-crafted another one, so when this goes down we can just swap it out. And I do recommend recycling your weapons before they break. It's a nice way to save on some materials, because you can't drop loot between each other anymore, so you are responsible for your own builds. Okay, let me see if I can work on this lady here. I don't know how she got herself stuck, but yeah, I'm not using my wafers intentionally because I want to save it for the high health targets. Ironically, you have to lose all of your crack shot buffs just to enjoy that stack of damage, but it's still fine, you know, it's still a good amount of damage bonus, and the percent damage you get in support is usually very negligible. That's why I was so happy to swap out Ramirez, because your percent damage is added on top of your energy damage and your wafers, like Rock and Rift 50% damage, and it all comes together in a very unsatisfying way. Like, I did the math one time on the like a maxed out Storm King Scourge, and energy, what was it, Extraterrestrial Rio, she was a contender for this build, and wow, that time to kill, okay. She was a contender for this build, and the 20% damage is great, but look, I don't have shields right now. That is a common state to be in. You just don't have shields, and 3% extra damage, we did the math, on a fully stacked up Storm King Scourge, crack shot stacks to the max. It was going from like 30,000 damage to 31,000 damage. Like, her actual effect on the build was negligible. It might have been like 1,800 extra DPS, extra damage, and per bullet. It was not substantial. But you can see we're still killing smashers. Now, you do less damage during the power hour if you're a constructor, but Kine did do the testing. And that's also why Kine is in the lobby here today. He and Zachary were going back and forth on some, okay, thank you, Storm God, for the help, on some weapons. And what they found is that the damage bonus, damage reduction, is just for constructors. So any other soldier, ninja, outlander will be doing the normal amount of damage. So, oh, I did get a battle beat activation there, it looks like, and it's fine, you know? Even with two of us shooting the Deathray, it's totally mediocre performance. And that is why you guys are getting this video today instead of maybe a week or two ago, because when I tested it, I went, yeah, I think I placed it fairly, and then I went on with my life. You know, not everything becomes a video. I'm not so starved for content that I'll just record literally anything. I make some silly videos, but in reality, if it's not something I feel like you guys should use or you won't get some fun value out of, I am more than happy to put a topic away. That's why the duet video happened recently. I called it my most rejected video idea because so many people came to me and said, yo, the duet's a monster. You don't know what you're talking about. The thing's S tier. It's crazy. And I'm like, no, it's not. It's not. Like, okay, I know the Steam is good. I see where you're coming from, but it's not that good, guys. And I made that video, and it was absolutely mediocre experience. Damage, I guess. I linked that down below if you want to check it out, but the experience with it was perfectly fine. So, We got a mini boss. This is where Crackshot can shine. This is where I can stack all the damage and even aim for the head, doing everything I can. Team, if you want to help, you are more than welcome to join me. This is where I'm hoping that my traps can do some kind of damage while I'm focused here, but yeah, it's no mini boss killer. Gotta focus on these smashers so they don't break our walls. It's you know, it's gonna be fine at any element. It's an energy weapon, right? But energy only does 75% of its damage to any element. I think that was inherently implied in the intro. That's why I was talking about, like, if the element can match up on the Gravedigger, you'll get the full 100% of its damage. So the difference is pretty staggering there, and it's you know, very important to have that elemental matchup. Otherwise, you get this where it's you know, I mean, that's a physical target, but it does 69 to that one and 70 to that one, and then, well, I had totally rocking out activated, so not apples to apples. I was gonna show the damage number difference, but then yeah, that kicked in. So that's in the, oop, there we go. I expected that to break. There's another weapon people wanted me to cover, the Electroshock Rifle. That was a one-time weapon, so that's actually the Argon Assault Rifle, not the Deathray reskin. And the Electroshock Rifle was available in, was it the Powerhouse? What was he called? The Power Soldier pack at one point, but it was paid only, and then it never returned, and it's a fine weapon. So you know what? Let's just for fun. We've shown the Deathray to death, and I guess I'm not going to use that extra copy. But the Electroshock Rifle, Powerhouse, thank you guys, was reskin of the Argon Assault Rifle, and I supercharged it because I thought it was really, really fun and satisfying to use. And I'm not a fan of featuring a whole weapon that's paid and no longer available. That would just make everybody feel left out for a weapon that's honestly mediocre. That's why I supercharged it. I wanted it to do some extra damage, but it's actually like pretty good. Like, I think it might crit higher. Maybe the base damage is higher, and I think it has like a lower meg, lower fire rate, better damage, because it feels fine. Every time I ran it, I thought, oh, this thing's kind of good. I like it. It's got decent accuracy, assuming you can actually hit your shots, which I cannot. I am recording this earlier in the morning, given it's the early morning power hour, and I was not planning on streaming. I was like thinking I should maybe cover the Constructor power hour, but there was no hype for it at all. Like, look, the damage is actually good. Maybe we need to do an Argon Assault Rifle showcase next, because that's the weapon that might be more underrated than we realized, because this is audibly different. Like, it sounds like it's shooting slower with harder hitting targets, harder hitting bullets, but the Argon Assault Rifle actually does just shoot this fast. It has like a visual or an audio cue where it sounds like it's shooting twice as fast as it is. It's totally bizarre, but the Electroshock Rifle I just found to be like a super fun to use weapon. And this is like, oh, which weapon was I showcasing? It was like a SMG where I pulled out the Thrasher at the end. It's like a surprise Electroshock Rifle showcase in the same vein of an energy weapon. But anyway, there's a Deathray video. Thank you, Zaku, for funding this. I hope you guys can appreciate that he did that, because now you get an extra video on the channel. And maybe you can appreciate my perspective on why I wasn't dying to cover this, but that's the Deathray. If you ever wanted to try it out, you can check it out, and it might do a little bit better than you thought, but just don't expect it to carry the mission. Thank you guys for watching. Subscribe if you're new. Twitch link down below. I'll see you guys in the next one, and have a great rest of your day. And then